born in Dimdikkal, Tamil Nadu. With over 5 decades of service, he has held several distinguished positions within the Catholic Church and social justice movements, including Provincial of Andhra 7 years and Director of CETRA, Central for Information, Training, Research and Action for 16 years. He served as the Operation Director of the Village Reconstruction Organization and held key positions in the Telugu Catholic Bishops' Conference and Conference of Religious India. He is a respected voice in human rights advocacy. He is the one of the founders and serves as the National Advisor of the National Council of Dalit Christians. His expertise spans leadership development and counseling, enhanced by specialized training in neuro-linguistic programming from programs in both India and the United States. He holds a master's degree in English literature. He has dedicated much of his life to championing the rights of Dalit Christians and Muslims at the national level. Currently, he serves as the spiritual director at the Jesuit Juniorate for Studies in Andhra, Loyola College, Vijayawada, where he continues to mentor and guide the next generation of religious leaders. So we are happy to have him here. So may I call upon him to present his paper. We welcome you, Father.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Dear fathers and sisters and brothers, Father Praveen gave a very comprehensive talk on the prophetic aspects of religious and the practical implications, and my talk would be the continuation of that talk. Yesterday when Father Saji was speaking about Jesus as a political person, I remembered my friend Antony Raj, my companion, who was a social activist in Madurai province. He died last year, he is no more. While he was talking to the CRI, he said, for me, to be religious is to be a rebel. He said Jesus was a rebel. Jesus rebelled against the system. All the prophets were rebels. So, to me, to be a religious today is to rebel. See, Jesus was compassionate and loving. At the same time, Jesus was angry and protesting. So, by Jesus combined both compassion and anger. That's what we have to do. We have to be compassionate when we have to be compassionate, and angry when we are supposed to be angry. So, this combination may be difficult. That's what Jesus did. That is part of the life of the prophet. Last month we had a convention in Indo by the Forum of Religions for Justice and Peace. Father Sebastian also was present there. Here in Indo, there are two places to visit. One is the birthplace of Dr. Ambedkar. Second is the Rani Maria Shrine. So we went to both. Ambedkar is a non-Christian prophet. So Rani Maria is a Christian prophet. So we went to there. So after the meeting, we went to see Rani Maria Shrine. She was interested in working with the poorest of the poor to liberate them from the clutches of the moneylenders and landlords. She had the mind and heart of Jesus. She asked the question, what would Jesus do if we were to be here in his place? She worked with joy and passion for the poor, which brought about the displeasure and anger of the rich who wanted the poor to be their slaves. So they employed a killer and murdered her. She paid the cost of discipleship. Perhaps you know the whole story. The killer after repented, converted, went to her home. He was adopted as a family member and so on. You know, Father Stan Swami, another prophet of our times, he is a social scientist who analyzed the unjust and sinful social structures. I have attended his seminar in the Indian Social Institute, Bangalore. So he said, when injustice is being done, I cannot stand as an onlooker. I have to be part of the game. and I am ready to pay the price, whatever it be. Knowing the risks and dangers of involvement, he deliberately decided to plunge into liberative struggles of the tribals, who were at the mercy of the land grabbers, the government officials, and the police who supported them. Thousands of tribals were languishing in the jail as under trials. They were not criminals. They were arrested because they protested. Stan filed a case in favor of them. The BJP government wanted to get rid of him. They arrested him with a false case of the so-called involvement in the Bhima Koregama incident. You know how much he suffered in the prison and finally died before getting away. The institutions and socio-political structures are conservative. They want to preserve themselves with their traditions, rules and regulations, customs and power structures. The consequences are the rich and the powerful continue to perish at the expense of the poor and the powerless. There is no equality, no justice, no brotherhood, sisterhood. Humanity, instead of becoming a family of God where there is love, unity and togetherness, will be a place of divisions, inequality, hatred, greed and war. Prophetic work centers around justice. The world in which we are living is unjust. There are 700 million people below poverty line in the world who go to bed hungry. There are 130 million displaced people, refugees, who do not have a home. There are 500 million indigenous people not given equality and dignity. 100 million are in India. There are 270 million so-called untouchable in the world, segregated and excluded from the mainstream of the society. 170 million are in India. And among the women, 30% of the women, this is what it says, survey says, 1/3 of the women suffer physical or sexual violence sometime or other in their life. In India, every 20 minutes, a girl or a woman is molested. So, the injustice goes on. See, so much of every day in the newspaper, every day in TV, every day, we read all these things. But what happens is, we get accustomed to evil, to injustice. Once I was in Versova, near Bombay, where I went to the Nirmala Sisters Center, and I could not bear the smell, dry fish everywhere in that village. Such a terrible smell, stench was there. I could not bear. So when the sister took me to the refectory, I said, "Sister, I feel like vomiting. I can't take coffee, tea and so on. How do you bear? The stench seems to go through the wall and through my skin." And the sister said, smiled and said, "Father, if you are here for 3 days, afterwards you will get accustomed. You won't feel the smell." That's what happens to most of us. We see injustice everywhere, we are accustomed. Okay, that happens, what to do? Things go on like that. That's what happens. So it is God who chooses and calls a prophet. I leave this paragraph because we have heard enough from Father Praveen. John Sobrino, the liberation theologian from San Salvador, speaks of the prophetic practice of Jesus. The next paragraph, Jesus questions their perception and understanding of God and religion. See, we all have perceptions. My perception is my reality. Your perception is your reality. So Jesus was questioning their perception and understanding of God and religion. Is it lawful to do good or to do harm on the Sabbath? To save life or to kill? Once Father Balagar, some of you may know, he is the one who founded the Amartavani in Hyderabad and all that. When he was about 95 years old, he came to Provincial. Father Provincial, should we ask permission to do good? I said, we are supposed to be doing good all the time. There is no need of permission. In the religious life, we understand that more could be done. Yes. So, God of Jesus is a God of love, goodness and mercy. Whereas the God of Pharisees is a God who demanded the observance of law first and above the law of godliness. Jesus' argument is on the principles of that God does not want religious observances and practices get in the way of human observances and of compassion and goodness. Jesus was trying to illustrate the right perception and understanding of God as a loving Father and not a powerful dictator. God wants mercy, not sacrifice. Sabbath is made for man and not man for Sabbath. The right way of serving God is serving humanity. So Christianity, along with the good news of salvation, brought the concept of service to India. Missionaries started caring for the poor, the sick, the destitute, and the homeless. They started educating the illiterate. Our massive involvement in education, health, and the social work are very much appreciated. Justice and human rights were not in their mind at that time in the mind of the missionaries. Given their theology and sociology, they wanted people to go to heaven. Even social work was made use of to convert people, because in those days we believed that outside the church there is no salvation. St. Francis Xavier traveled around in a hurry, furiously baptizing people. It is said that he baptized 40,000 people in 10 years. Father Peter Claver in South Africa was helping the black slaves, giving food and bandaging their wounds and baptizing them. No question of human rights was there at the time. They are great saints because they did according to their convictions and beliefs. Now our theology and our understanding of our mission has evolved along with sociology. Now we believe in human rights, equality of all men and women. Every human person has the rights to life and work, rights to food and shelter, rights to have freedom of expression and freedom of conscience and to follow any religion. We believe that if I am the follower of Jesus, I must be concerned about justice in the world. Faith means doing justice. Church is a structured institution which has centuries of tradition, laws, customs, rituals and ceremonies. Church is one of the most undemocratic institutions. It is a hierarchy. Father Phelan, who was the provincial of Wisconsin province in America, is my friend. When he was 8 years old, he resigned from priesthood saying, hierarchy is unchristian. Perhaps what he said was true, but it was too late. He was resigned only at the age. Till that time he was there. Like any other institution, church resists change. There is a lot of injustice, corruption, power-mongering, etc. God continues to send prophets. Pope John the 23rd took the church into rethinking and renewal. In the next paragraph, unholy agreement of Pius XII with Hitler. Hitler, with his fascist ideology of purity of race, killed mercilessly millions of Jews by shooting them down and sending them to gas chambers. We know that. They say 6 million Jews were killed. Church kept a criminal silence, watching Christ being crucified in the Jews. Pope Pius XII wanted to keep the church unhurt, Christians to be saved, Christian institutions to be protected. He made an unholy alliance with Hitler, and Hitler agreed not to harm the church and the Catholics, provided they did not get involved in politics. So they were kept quiet. They could not do anything. By being silent, we collaborated with the criminals. Those few priests and laity who dared to speak were killed. They were the prophets. Kidnapping of Khalil Prasad in Karapa. It was done by 3 priests. The bishop happened to be a Dalit and the priest happened to be Reddis. Okay? And Father Raja Reddy is a very rich priest. He has about 100 acres of land and crores of rupees. He had a shop in Ireland. The proceeds of the shop would come to him for missionary work. So, he spent about 6 lakhs for the operation of kidnapping the bishop. And he sent 2 carts with 10 people. They stopped the bishop on the way from that mass, even somewhere said mass and was coming back. They stopped him, blindfolded the bishop and the driver, and they took them away. And they started beating the bishop black and blue, and asked him questions which they could not ask, only the priest could ask, about transfers, about projects, about money and so on. And they were videographing everything because they had to show to the priest. So they beat him up thoroughly for hours. Bishop Kalera Prasad said he thought he would die, but he didn't die. Around 3:30, 4 o'clock, they brought him back and put him where the car was, and they went back. The driver, though he was blindfolded, discovered the place. He somehow, that was the place of Rajariti. So he told the police went straight, got all the fellows and the video and so on and so forth. So all the 3 priests were arrested and put behind bars. The bishop who was beaten thoroughly was recuperating. The issue was coming in the newspaper and TV daily, but the official church kept the criminal silence. So no bishop's wife spoke, 1 or 2 bishops. They said we spoke to the bishop. I said it's a public matter, you should be able to make a statement, conduct this issue. They said we shall see, things like that. Why, what happened? Simply because Bishop Archbishop Tuma Bala was a lady. He was the president of the TCBC, and he would not do anything because the 3 priests were ladies. So I was surprised, and neither CBCI nor CRI nor TCBC would make a statement. My own provincial was CRI president. I went and shouted at him, you are the CRI president, make a statement. But he was smiling, the bishops have not made, how to make. That looked very funny for me. What to do? He is my friend. Only I could shout at him. He didn't do it. So he wrote a letter to Cardinal Cletus, who was the president of CBCI, and he did not reply. Then I organized 7 groups, the One-Fourth Social Institute, the YMCA. We all signed and sent another letter to Cletus, Cardinal Cletus. For that he replied. He said, in their standing committee of the CBCI, they have appointed Archbishop Tuma Bala to take care of the case. And if anybody has to make a statement, it is Archbishop Tuma Bala. So some of our people went with that letter to Archbishop and said, this is what Cardinal has said, you have not made any statement so far. And Archbishop simply kept quiet, nothing doing. So so I went to Kadapa. I was the secretary of the CSTBC Commission of the TCBC. So I could do something, I felt I must do. So I went to Kadapa, stayed in the bishop's house, organized a rally, the public meeting, press conference and all that. When I went there, met the CSI bishop. He said, Father, I am very much surprised the Catholic bishops did not come together and condemn this act. What to do? So the rally was started by this CSI bishop, came and prayed, started the rally. There were 1,500 people in the rally. People came from all over the Hyderabad, Telangana and so on. Also from Bangalore, from Chennai and all that. You know, only 4 sisters and 8 fathers were there. Okay, for the rally. So the rally was successful, everything was successful. Okay. This is just one of the many. So what happened? Till the end they didn't make any statement. No. And when the TCBC meeting happened, Bishop Jayarao, who was the chairman of the SCBC Commission, phoned to me, for Moscow, the pressure is too much, they want to terminate you. I said, let them terminate me, so what? So I was terminated from being a CSTBC Commission Secretary. And very interestingly, they appointed a layman so that the commission may not be effective. That's what happened. And then later on, Archbishop put a little commission of inquiry about me. And that commission said the poster should not be in the Archdiocese of Hyderabad. And so our people said, we'll go and protest. I said, don't protest, there will be If all these things will happen, my provincial also will be in trouble. Don't worry. I have been here 16 years in the social center. I am ready to go. Only is a bigger place in Hyderabad. So I went and left. So this is just one of the many deliberate cost-minded events in the Indian Church. Two cases are now going on in the Tamil Nadu High Court because Dalits are not allowed to be in the parish council, not allowed to celebrate festivals together, and so on and so forth. You might have heard that Sister Kausalya from Charles Borromeo Convent committed suicide falling into the well. No way, because the fact-finding committee was there. They called me from the committee when they were having their discussion. This sister happened to be from a poor family. Her father was the gardener in their own convent, not in that convent, another convent. And she also is from the Dalit background. On these two counts, poverty and the Dalitness, there were so many remarks. She was so much hurt. She wanted to go out of the congregation. Her father felt ashamed to come out of the congregation. She shared it with her sister, father and all that. Finally, she decided to commit suicide. That's what happened. So, another important thing is the gender issue. One of the stories we got involved is in the Narakal convent. We believe that God created man and woman equal to each other. Christianity, like many other religions, is a patriotic religion, and women are not considered equal. Lot of injustices are done to women. In principle, we agree that we are all equal, and the CBC has come up with a gender policy. There is a convent in Narakal parish belonging to the CMC, not CMA, CMC sisters, the Ernakulam diocese. It has two schools, one of them more than 60 years old. The parish priest claimed that the schools, the property and the management belong to the parish. So, the Mother General sent two sisters to go and study and find out. The sisters went to the Archdiocese archive, went to the education department. Finally, they said, prove that the management, the property, the schools, all of them belong to the convent. Parish has nothing to do. So, though the property, all these belong to the parish priest started fighting, and the bishop in charge of education too supported him. Meanwhile, there was pressure on the Mother General from the bishop's side. Finally, Mother General had to oblige the bishop, because the bishop would not come afterwards for the functions, for the final works and so on. So there is a problem, because they depend on that. Finally, Mother General decided to give us the parish one school and an acre of land. But sisters in the convent did not agree. They stood their ground. They said, just now you proved all belong to us, but why do you want to give a school and then 1 acre of land? So they didn't want to give. The provincial transferred all of them, and that is against the education rule. So they went to the court and got a stay order, and they continued to say and fight. So that's what happened. All of them, this convent was segregated from the congregation, and no sisters were allowed to visit the convent. So finally, sisters of RE has written a book on the whole struggle. The book is called My Prophetic Struggle, the Narakal Story. Many small and big conflicts continue simply because men are in power and women are at the receiving end. I suppose sisters agree with me? Yes. Once we had a meeting of CRA women in Hyderabad. 60 sisters were there. A few of us were there, I was representing the CRA, I was there. And you know how angry some of the sisters were. They were saying this very specific that we are their servants, we have come to the society, the congregation, only to wash their clothes and sweep their room and cook their food. That's how they feel. Parish priests refusing to say Mass in the convent, taking away the Eucharist from the convent chapel. Once one mother general came and told to me, that father has taken away the sacrament. I said, you take from your convent, put back in the tabernacle. That's what I said. So okay, we'll continue. See, again, at the moment, we need to work with Muslims. Muslims are the minorities. BJP considers Muslim and Christians as enemies. They want to eliminate us. So at this moment, we have to be together. We have to work together. But many Christians don't like Muslims. Anyway, I work with Muslims. Because they are there with them, they call me Maulana Bosco. And then, so I went and told the Cardinal Gracious, see, we go once in a while for the function and so on. We never sat together, talked about national matters seriously. Why not we come together and do? Cardinal Gracious agreed. And we had a meeting. Jamaat Islam people from Delhi came all the way to Bombay, and we had a meeting with the people. It was very good. The Cardinal said the historic meeting. And the Muslims invited the Cardinal. Cardinal went over to Delhi for a function. We had a meeting there also. So that is the way we are trying to bring in collaboration. Meanwhile, what happened? I was in CBCI. I go to CBCI because it's easy to meet people and all that. I was in CBCI. One MP came, part2, Muslim MP came to meet me. We were together for 1 hour. After the MP left, the CBCI secretary called me and said, hereafter don't come to CBCI. So I had to go away. I had to go to my Jesuit house. But after 3 months I wrote to him, I suppose I can come back now. I went back again. So that's what happened. What are the systemic evils and structural sinfulness in our country? You know, some of them I have given here. RSS, a Hindu fundamentalist group, is trying to take over the country with its fascistic ideology of making India a Hindu Rashtra. Caste system is a system of grade and inferiority which perpetuates inequality and divisions. Gender injustice keeping the women the secondary citizens of the country. Dehumanizing poverty, rampant corruption in the system. All these systemic evils can be dealt with only through political processes. The policies that govern the country are discussed and decided only in the parliament, assemblies and other elected bodies. If you want to change the society and the country, political involvement is a must. As religious, we are committed to Jesus and His mission. We are interested that all the people live happily, their rights are respected, they are given their due human dignity, valued as children of God, equal to everyone, given equal opportunity to blossom and flourish. So, I speak of Jesus the Liberator, He came to free us and so on. Yes. So our destiny is progressively shaped by the decision making by representatives in the electoral bodies. So that's our political involvement. Next, Pope Francis, addressing this theme, said, politics according to the social doctrine of the Church is one of the highest forms of charity because it serves the common good. I cannot wash my hands. We all have to give something, he said. A good Catholic meddles in politics, offering the best of himself so that those who govern can govern. So, I have been involved, I was for the last 30 years also involved in Dalit Muslim, Dalit Christian issue. Used to go to Delhi, organize programs, Jantar Mantar and all that. For the last 10 years I am very much involved also in the political processes. One of the models that, not one of the models, the model that we follow in the political process, I have given. We have gone to Maharashtra, Bihar, Assam, and later in Karnataka we are able to work because we had money at that time. Once the money is not there, we are not able to work. My provincial at that time, the provincial of South Asia, they were supporting, encouraging, giving money. Because they were giving, other provincials also giving. I was in a school which is very rich school, so I could spend a few lakhs per year for that cause. So we were doing the work. The Muslim side also we got a lot of money. Ahmad Patel, MP, he alone gave 15 lakhs. He is no more, he died in Corona. So we lost JANAMPET. And we don't have. The provincials will change. The new provincial of my own province in South Asia, they don't want me to work. They are afraid. That's what happens. Goes to Aris. Aris is my friend. A few of us friends evolved a model to work effectively in the election. Our aim is to defeat BJP, or at least to see that BJP number of MPs and MLAs are considerably reduced, and pro-democratic alliance comes to power. Dalits, tribals, Christians, Muslims form 42% of the population. If we are able to influence them, we can decide what government will come to power. In our team, we are Mr. Aris Mohammed, a Muslim, who started the Muslim Parliamentarians Forum in Delhi. Mr. Digambar Kamble, a Dalit, the national convener of Samata Sainik Dal, an Ambedkarite organization. Father Nicholas Barla, SUD, a tribal, the secretary of the CBC Commission for ST, scheduled tribes, and myself, a Christian, national advisor of ONCT, national of the Christians. Our strategy is this. We do data mining through a team of professionals up to the polling booth level as to where Dalits, Muslims, Christians and tribals are voting. For instance, out of more than 200,000 polling booths in Bihar, our people are voting in 52,000 polling booths. We are able to give our volunteers the number of the polling booths each assembly where our people were voting, and it was easy for them to work 2 weeks before the election. Another thing is meeting the networks. We have many networks of Dalits, tribals, Muslims, Christians. We meet them. Only the Christian groups we are finding it difficult to motivate. We do not have involvement in politics in our Christian culture. We pray very hard and stop with that. Prayer without work is unproductive. We make it a point to meet the leaders of the pro-democratic groups and organize meetings with them. So we met Sharad Pawar and our cardinal gracious, we made a couple of meetings, and it was very good because Sharad Pawar people and our Christian people started working together. Same thing happened in Bihar. Our Archbishop William and Tejesh Yadav, we went and met, and also the Congress leaders. Like that we do. And in Assam, the Muslims and Christians don't like each other, they were against. We felt if you want to have some impact, they have to be together to voting. So we told the Archbishop, you organize a meeting with the Muslims, you must come. Archbishop agreed. The next day when I went to the Archbishop, he said, all the fathers in the house of bishops will tell me not to go for the meeting. Because in the prejudice we have against Muslims. Anyway, Archbishop came. The meeting was organized in the Salesian Provincial House. The Adivasi Union leaders of Christians, Adivasi women leaders, they all came. The 6 or the 7 of the important Muslim leaders came. Badruddin Ajmal, the important leader, ANU, all of them came. It was a very good meeting. Sending a message, we are together. We need not fight each other. So, things like that. So, data mining is very important because that gives our volunteers the space and go where to work. But that's very costly. For each booth we have to spend 50 to 60 rupees. So I suggest to my provincials, see my provincial asked me to stop the work 2 years ago. I said I can't stop the work in conscience. This is holy responsible disobedience. Anyway, I didn't simply sit on the provincial, I wrote to the general. For general, of course, encouraged me and wrote to the king and to the POSA. And because of that, I was invited to the provincials conference. I went and explained to them. But the provincials, a few of them spoke who were frightened. All the other fellows were keeping quiet. Only the frightened provincials spoke. And then, after nothing happened, no, they did not tell me anything. One thing I suggested, you need not give me money, you need not come forward. We have enough institutions, even if every institution is 5 to 10,000, it will be more than enough. Another thing I said, data mining, we have computer people in each province. Why don't we give one from each province? Our professional teach them how to do. And so, instead of spending 15-20 lakhs for each state, we can do the work. But no provincial responded because my provincial is not far. That's what happened. Anyway, then is continuing. Whereas in Karnataka, the Archbishop was very much interested. Because of that, we were able to go with the Archbishop. We had a few meetings. Archbishop himself gave me 75,000 to work. And he asked somebody and he gave 5 lakhs. Because the money was there, we were able to do some data mining also and help through the election. Anyway, this is the sort of work that I have been doing. And then at the moment it is come to a stop because of lack of money and collaboration. I have finished with the last note. A prophet must love Jesus intimately and commit himself totally to him. He must now and again ask the question, if Jesus were to be here, what he would do? During his public ministry, Jesus did 3 things, important things: praying, sometimes the whole night, proclaiming the unconditional love of God and confirming with miracles, and eating and drinking with the so-called sinners. The second strength is a fearlessness, ready to risk our comforts, belongings, good name, even our life. Jesus never bothered about his survival. He took the risk boldly and paid the cost. As theologians, one of us says, when Jesus calls us, he calls us to die. Fearlessness and trust in God will give us the spiritual freedom required to the great prophets. So thank you very much. You have taken some more time.
Thank you for the Bosco for a beautiful presentation as you explained the challenges of both men and women as religious. Thank you for that, and it's time for questions and clarifications.
Thank you so much. Since we were associated in so many, so many times we came together. So I'm so happy that you are really continuing the ministry of politicizing the religious life. In that real sense, not in the what do you call electioneering or what. But the way I heard it earlier also from you. It was so beautifully planned out. See, I think what we lack is a common planning of religious creeds and beliefs. We don't, this happens because you have some special people who are equally interested. But I think that is not enough. It's not enough. The whole Catholic Church they can have the issues. Now, for example, the Manipur issue. Very few bishops have said something. No? And although with my own limitations, I could not go there, but I sent 10,000 rupees to the Bishop of Bengal. I mean, I feel that coming together, planning together, a very detailed planning, because in Karnataka election you could influence because of that. First of all, money, then the thorough planning with him from booth level onwards how it will go. And I think, this is what I feel. Even in seminary, we have to train them. Otherwise, after care. Or there should be get together of similar-minded people, especially priests. And also bishops. There are bishops. So that we become a creative minority. As Marx would say, always creative minority will bring about revolution, and not the big Purva. So what I feel is this, reaching out to various people, and even there are simple people who are willing to work, but then they don't get a push. So that way I feel we should be involved accordingly.
Thank you, Mr. Bharat. So it is so very important as you say to organize. Father Thomas Palli is very much interested. Both of us went to speak to the priest groups, CRMA, sisters groups and so on. But they listen, but not much sort of, they could not motivate them to get into activity. Even those who gave email ID to for the WhatsApp number and so on for Thomas Palli could not respond. Thomas Palli was so much frustrated coming saying, what is it? So all those sisters gave me the names and so on, they don't respond. And somehow that is not in our culture. As Father was saying, from the formation itself we have to do. How to do, we have to find out.
Thank you, dear Father, for your beautiful presentation. And as Father Pravin has explained in his paper, religious is one who is a voice for the voiceless. And in your paper, it is clearly seen in your explanation, and you are also a man of example. So I don't know, here there are prominent persons, amidst them, I feel at this stage I can ask this question or not. But I believe, because when I was small, my father used to call for work. During work, I used to ask many questions to him. What is that? What is this? So, as a student here, now I feel, because this is, we are all our fathers are all like our parents, and with that privilege, I ask this question. As you said, there are many discriminations are taking place, especially to the Dalits in our church. I also strongly believe. But there are also very many leaders who are Dalits. What are the steps they are taking to overcome this situation? They have given the power, they have something in their hands to change this structure. Are they taking any courageous step? This is my question.
Yes, what you say? See, there are a few leaders, both priests, sisters, ladies, few who are outspoken. They come out and work. You know? Many others don't. Many others don't. Now, for instance, I once asked in those days, some years ago, there were 5 Dalit bishops in our council. I said, what is the impact that you are making in the bishops' council? Because you are 5 people, you must be able to do. And one more thing is, some of the people say, for instance, Bishop, you take our cardinal. He may not aggressively do, but if we do, he is happy, he encourages. So we can't expect, especially people in power means like bishops and provincials and so on, to come forward and to get involved, because they have their own apprehensions, their own difficulties. No, they have. Let them take their time. But if they are able to facilitate, if the previous provincial was facilitating, giving me all the help, but the present provincial no. So it depends on people, and one thing that we can do is, we can make a province policy or congregational policy, how to get involved in the women or Dalits or tribals and so on, then the superiors also will follow. For that, there must be a sort of a concerted effort in the province, in the congregation, that we make a policy of involvement. We assign a budget, we assign people, we prepare people for getting involved in such work. That we must do. In Tamil Nadu, Jesuit province, they were doing like that. They were preparing men and they were taking a particular area and were involving people.
Father, hats off to you for your great service to the cause of God, the cause called the kingdom of God. Sacrificially is your work great. I fold my hands before you. Now, having said that, since you are going about to various places, I think certain factual errors have to be corrected. One, Because yesterday also the same thing came, that the church stood silent when the Holocaust was going on. Kindly permit, because often this is being said, and since we have brothers here, I want to correct that misconception. So let me read what I read from Wikipedia, just a little bit for the benefit of the students. The Catholic Church in Germany opposed the Nazi Party, and in the 1933 elections, the proportion of Catholics who voted for the Nazi Party was lower than the national average. So the Nazis sought to suppress the power of the Catholic Church in Germany. Catholic press, schools and youth organizations were closed. Property was confiscated, and 1/3 of its clergy faced reprisals from authorities. Catholic lay leaders were among those murdered during the night of the long knives. One more, last. The church hierarchy in Germany tried to work with the new government, but Pius XI encyclical, that name is given, accused the government of hostility to the church. Yes. The Nazis gathered dissident priests that year in a dedicated barracks at Dachau, where 95% of its inmates were Catholics, mostly Polish priests, with 411 Germans. Altogether, 1,000 priests died in that concentration camp. So let's not have a very blind criticism of what the position of the church with regard to Nazi persecution. That's one thing. Second, where I disagree with you is that you talked about Jamaat-e-Islami. You talked about the Muslims there in Assam. See, Savarkar, Golwalkar, RSS has to be fought not with the help of Jamaat-e-Islami, which is Islamic Savarkar. Their self-proclaimed ideology that you can see on their website is to establish an Islamic state based on Sharia law. So minority fundamentalism, majority fundamentalism are equally to be fought against. That's what I feel.
That we understand, Father. That's the last one. Whatever will be their ideology, for our issue-based collaboration is important. We have to stand together against BJP. That we have to do. Not that we are agreeing with them in all their policies and their, That's why even the neutrality we are speaking about, party, we are neutral, no party politics. Even Pope says there is no party politics. But political involvement, yes. On issue-based things, it will be very good. Concerning the Germany, I have no problem to, that's okay. Because I said those who dare to speak out were killed. That's what I said, they were the prophets. There are people who dare to speak. The Lutheran Church, of course, supported Hitler. Catholic Church didn't support. No support was there. That's okay. Yes.
Father, personally, it has cost you very much being involved on the side of the poor. You have taken the cause of the Dalits forward very much, and in this we have got the collaboration of other religious leaders. Your style of leadership, or your style of interreligious dialogue, can that be called as that kind of dialogue that we can interreligious leaders, or is this the model of collaboration that we should have with the other religions?
More of collaboration
With other religions?
Other religions. We are thinking in the categories of Dalits, tribals, Muslim, Christians. Religion as such, we were not taking into consideration. These four groups, of course, Muslims are different religion and all that. Dalits will find everything. Muslims are there, Christians are there, Hindus are there, so on. So religion as part of our group we didn't consider. Yeah. You are saying interreligious is that what maybe we will think about it. We have to think that. Yes.
No, I thought that is a model of interreligious dialogue. You don't speak about religion, but you keep religion on the side and act together for the cause.
Yeah.
That is
everybody is there. Yes. Yeah.
And then one more personal question. You have been banned from Hyderabad diocese because of your involvement. You have been banned from CBCI. You have been pushed out of your congregation in Hyderabad, and you cannot stay there and so on. All this must have cost you personally very much. And how do you go through all this? What is the support for you? Spirituality is something like that.
See, one thing is, I don't feel very much hurt because I know that I am working with people who may like, who may not like. So when the CBCA, the secretary told me not to come, I said, okay, that is the way he feels. He doesn't want the Muslims to come here. It didn't hurt me very much. But when I was asked to go out of Hyderabad, I was hurt. I was a little angry. Then afterwards I was thinking, praying and so on. And then I said, if I had been a Reddy and I appealed within the Archbishop's place, what I would have done? Because there must be so much pressure of Reddys on my head. That's what happened to Archbishop Kumar Bala. So much so, he could have acted, but he didn't. So it was almost, I was sympathizing with Archbishop Kumar Bala, who was helpless, who could not act. So I forgave him and everything is over. Now he is no more, he died also. Yeah.
Besides being a model for others, you are experienced in these activities of being in solidarity with the poor. You are a man of experience like nobody else. And my question is in this direction, anywhere where the religious is involved on the side of the poor, they are going to pay like you paid. Now you have to you are allowed to go into the different licenses and different places and so on. Supposing they tell you, my dear man, you are involved in this and you are getting the government angry and the bishop, the church angry, the church or the dioceses, and then as a result of that your co-religions, co-Jesuits are being punished also. And now I will say that no capital should come, the Jesuits should come to the diocese and then other dioceses also stop Jesuits from coming for preaching and all that. And then the other priests tell you, my dear man, you are doing this, and because of that our daily bread is gone. What are you doing this? You should not do it.
Yeah.
And I force you to get out of this kind of thing. You get out of the order if you want. Don't stop the daily bread from being stopped.
Yes.
What do you in this kind of situation? What is the solution? Nobody can answer except when we are in that situation.
I give an example, Father. There was a strike in the Nagarjuna University, and a height of people who belong to Andhra Loyola College, they joined the strike. At the time I was provincial. The chaplain called me, asked me. I said, "You go ahead, join the strike," because this Vice Chancellor appointed a person who is in the bottom list, the bottom of the list, because she or he belongs to his caste. So the law department made a strike. I said, okay, I took people, let them go and join. Then after that, what happened? When I came to Loyola College, the principal called Principal Innaya, you want to talk to me, he said, you encourage your people to do the strike, I am the one to suffer. I asked what happened. That Vice Chancellor, even if I phone, he will do the work. Now I go and stand there, he doesn't call me. Because I come people belong to the Andhra Loyola, they made the strike. I told him, it is not my option or the ICAP option, it is province option. So when we take a stand, you also must take, you also must be able to suffer. If there's something happens, we have to suffer. And that's what I said. So, what else? Something else came to my mind, I forget. Okay, anyway. So the things happen that way. The ICAP people again wanted to have a caste seminar in Vijayawada. Joseph Bishop was afraid of caste because his own birthplace there is no mass because of caste problem. So he didn't want that. Then these people said, if you are not in Vijayawada, we will go and conduct in our village, Chikavaram. They went to Chikavaram, there quite a few young fellows from there, they went there, they organized the meeting, they told the parish priest said, okay. When parish priest came to know that the bishop doesn't want, parish priest disappeared. So there was, the facilities were not available. They put it in Samiana and the village, and all those who came, even from Nepal, people came, they all were staying in their houses, actually also one or two in each house, and they were having 3 days seminar. So after that, I went there, I was provincial, I went there for half a day, saw them and came back. Then that month, newsletter, Archbishop Joseph writes, there are a few priests and nuns going around diverting the faith of the people. They are charlatans and impostors. They speak against Mary, against Eucharist, lie, utter lie. We never spoke about Eucharist and Mary. They should not be allowed to enter our villages. They should not be allowed to enter our churches. All these things he wrote in a paragraph. Then what happened? Okay, that's what he has written. The rector phoned to me, Loyola College, for the Moscow. The ICAP people are writing a reply to the bishop. Why don't we stop them? I said the bishop has done such an atrocious thing, telling lies. He has written condemning the people. And then how can you ask the young fellows not to reply? Let them write, I won't stop them, I said. Then what did this ICAP people did? They wrote a 4-page reply, printed it as a leaflet, went to the cathedral, distributed everybody after mass against the bishop. So that's what happened. Then I went for a meeting abroad. When I came back, there was a letter from the president of the TCBC. We opened the letter, simply 2 lines. We don't want ICAP in Andhra Pradesh. So ICAP was suppressed. So what to do? We instead of ICAP, we started student association, youth association, different organizations we started. That happened like that. And then once when I went to the Archbishop, I said, I mean Tuma Joseph, I said, Bishop, something has happened like this. Shall I bring those young fellows? We can have a dialogue. Who are the young fellows? I don't know them. They did not come, he said. Now, most of them belong to your diocese and they are here only. We will have, no, I don't want to have a dialogue, nothing doing. He said, okay. And when I came back, very interestingly, 2 elderly fathers came in my community for oracle and for God. And they said, whatever happened, he is the bishop. So we must go and apologize, ask sorry. I said, I have not done anything wrong, I will not go and ask sorry. Then these 2 people went and asked sorry. That's what happened. Things happen, what to do. Later on, when the Archbishop Joji came to Hyderabad, we went and told him, ICAP was suppressed, we like to revive the ICAP, and then we started the ICAP again after some time, after a few years. When we take stand like that, things are, we have to suffer. It's part of it. So once I say for that, I expect things might happen. So it doesn't hurt me so much. Only if it doesn't happen, I will be wondering what nothing is happening. Yes. Yes, Father.
What I feel is, nobody is to be excluded. whether from Islam or Hinduism or Christianity or different religions. What is important is that if these are motivated for fighting for that. And also we must remember, in Ayodhya, which is supposed to be such a center for the BJP, even now they don't have an MLA from Ayodhya. No MP one from that side. So we have, and also another thing, I don't know, I hope we can, don't ask unnecessary permission. But once I was invited to address the rationalists. So they told me I am the 14th priest to be approached to give a talk. Will you come? I said, I will come. And then just before going, I thought, let me just inform the bishop. So I just telephoned and informed them. No, they are like that, they are like this. I don't like it. I said, sorry, I have given the word, therefore I give it. I think, certain amount of making use of freedom in this way. That is the only way I think to work. Otherwise we will not succeed. In fact, I was in charge of Ecumenical too. Similar, exactly similar. But the more they excluded me, the more I was accepted among the Christians, among the other Christians after that. So, I feel one side rejection may come, other side acceptance. So therefore, I feel, bringing together people of good. That is the only way to fight against fundamentalism and fanaticism.
Thank you, Father. Our seminarian, Rajesh, he asked, so, as Father said, there are a lot of people of goodwill. See, my own companions, a lot of Jesuits are there, but they won't come forward to fight with me. But one or two, I can motivate them and to come. Others, well, they have their own capabilities, what to do. But they are there supporting, but they won't come forward to do that. Yes, Father.
Thank you for the gospel. You have presented very well with your own personal experiences and examples and so on. First of all, in the Bishops' Council, now there are 8 Dalit bishops, not 5. Right now, 8 Dalit bishops are not 5. Secondly, in the beginning itself, you quoted that all are rebels. The rebelness is there in all human beings. That is true. Jesus was a rebel that time. Pharisees were rebel. Scribes were rebel. And you and me, all are rebels. That rebelness is there within us. And that will come out when the core is touched in its own way. And our founder, St. Francis, was also a rebel that time. So, with different perspectives and perceptions, that also you mentioned, they looked at. And Jesus also questioned the rebelness of the Pharisees and the scribes with their perception. He questioned their perception. And St. Francis also was rebel, but his perception was different. Okay? And even now, all have this rebelness, and with what the perception? Okay. We have to strike a balance, and we have to take and choose what is right perception. Otherwise, we will fall in dangerous situations. That's one thing. And secondly, and one or two made a statement that in the seminary we have to teach and propagate this and all. Okay, platform is created for everyone, the seminaries and in different places. All the students, all of us cannot take the same mission, same apostolate. That is you have a wonderful job being done, you are doing, and your charism, your interest, and your active participation, that is different. That is you, and this is me, and that is he. Okay. Each one has got his own or her own perception. Okay. We have to focus on Jesus and God. And in the church we have different ministries, different missions. So when our own, the inner person is touched, that authenticity will come up and he will take up the ministry, and that ministry will be challenging and very effective. So let us not say that all have to take the same path and the same ministry, but we have to encourage everyone. We have to take Jesus' ministry. He was not only one side ministry he took up, different ministries, no? So that's what
Yes, Father. After the Vatican Council, we had a big meeting in Pune on mission. And then India evangelization, what is our mission? It was the sort of defined. One is proclamation of the gospel, second is pastoral work, third is ecumenical work, fourth is interreligious dialogue, fifth is option for the poor. So these are some of the guidelines. So suppose my perception doesn't go along with this, then I have to question myself. That is why I often put the question, if Jesus were to be here, what would he do? So that would give us the right perspective so that we are able to respond to the situation. Because the Pharisees and Sadducees also were rebels, but they were responding to a different value system. There is a different value system. So in that way, as much as possible, we know our founders and our leaders and so on. But the question that I said is, what would Jesus do today if we were to be here? And that is okay. As you said, there are different ministries. Paul said that there are prophets, there are teachers, there are preachers and so on. So there are different ministries. Certainly, not all are called to do the same thing. No, certainly. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Father, for a beautiful presentation. We thank all the chief speakers from yesterday, starting from for Johnson, for Thomas Denver, for Chinnu, for the Varkis, for Ravi Kumar, for the Saji, for the K.M. Sebastian, and today for the Praveen Gopu and for Bosco. Let's put our hands together and congratulate the speakers. Now we have the time for discussion, and I invite for the K.M. Sebastian, and he will let us know how shall we go about the discussion.
We are not too many. We can have a small group, but then we have had a very interesting talk by different persons, and their papers should be given also an occasion to be further discussed. So I thought we will make 9 groups depending or around the resource persons, and we will have a discussion for some time. It is still at least 45 minutes, and then we will have a plenum. So the questions, so I would like first of all for the participants to take in numbers, number up to 9. So we will have 9 groups, and then small group it will be, and there will be interesting to be led by the resource person of the group. And then after that we will come together for that plane. So will you please take numbers?
Numbering needs to be done by the, not by the resource.
Resource person is not going to the numbering. Yeah. Others means. Other. One.
No, I can say 1, 2, 3.
Once will stand up, then we raise them. Number 1. Two people.